Good evening. Welcome to Real News Live. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, Sandra. Hi, Richard. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Nana. Hi, Boone. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Linda. Hi, Debbie. How's everyone doing tonight? Please hit that share button. Thank you to get us out there even more. Tonight, we're going to talk about something first. It's good news. There's a breakthrough, a huge breakthrough, and clean energy or clean fuel. Not clean energy necessarily, but it is clean energy that turns hydrogen into, or turns water into hydrogen at room temperature using waste aluminum that has been recycled so many times that is no longer clean enough or strong enough to be used in other facets. And so it's extremely cheap without any kind of fossil fuels. So this is a huge thing. It involves just stripping or breaking down the aluminum to particle base, basically, and adding gallium to it and putting it in water, which is amazing. Of course, the science has been there with gallium and aluminum for a while that produces hydrogen. This is a much more extreme, much more direct way of doing it. Hydrogen is a very potent fuel source if it can be mass produced. And producing large amounts of hydrogen has cost a lot of money in the past. I mean, a lot of electricity goes into it. And this works with any kind of water. It doesn't have to be special deionized, desalinated water. This could be wastewater with the contaminants. This is being done here in the United States. This breaking of the barriers and changing a big breakthrough is crazy. But wastewater and ocean water have both been shown positive to produce pure hydrogen as the outcome. And the gallium is reused over and over, which is, the biggest cost to this would be gallium. So this is a huge breakthrough, and I'm glad scientists have finally figured out a way to do this just by keep adding nanoparticles of aluminum to wastewater and clean energy. Magic. Besides that, though, Biden, of course, attacking Americans' rights again as he touts a law enforcement plan while questioning MAGA Republicans. What side is Biden on, honestly? He wants to be pro law enforcement, and then he's against law enforcement, and then he's calling for an assault weapon ban again while promoting the Safe America plan or Safer American plan. First of all, we know law-abiding citizens aren't the ones out there committing these horrific gun crimes. They're just not. It's a whoopsie on Biden's side, saying that taking on MAGA Republicans or Republicans in general, stating basically they're not good for America. His exact words is, don't tell me they support law enforcement if they won't condemn what happened on the 6th. I condemn, the violence that happened on the 6th, but I'm not condemning the people that protested. I will never do that. I will never stand against people that wanted their voice heard for an election obviously slanted by the FBI. Of course, as more allegations come out and widespread misconduct, it prompted FBI agents to call for Wary to step down. I mean, this is obvious. Christopher Wary was in the middle of the position that involved bearing the Hunter Biden story during the election in 2020. So he obviously was in the middle of all this. He lost control of his agency. He didn't know what he was doing. Things are getting shooken up all over the place. And this is true. He should step down. The FBI has shown that it's a political bias agency right now. It needs to be researched to find out why politics are even going into this, or any politics are even involved in the FBI. Meanwhile, we have FBI agents getting arrested. At the same time, FBI agents are getting arrested. An FBI employee charged with sexual abuse of 5 underage girls. 5 in Utah last week. She was just arrested for molesting 5 young girls. This is disgusting. The 65-year-old Robert Alexander Smith, after a young girl told her mother in June that Smith had allegedly forced her to touch him inappropriately under his clothes in 2020 when she was 6 or 7. This is becoming too much. Bad apples are falling out like crazy. Each of the girls reported inappropriate touching, several reports of genital touching. I mean, there's more victims coming forward still at this point. And this is just another folly for the FBI. I mean, it's ridiculous. DHS is in shambles again, as thousands of Mexican passports with Middle Eastern names coming through the border now. Thousands of Mexican passports with Middle Eastern names. Fraud is obviously involved, but these passports are checking out. Even though the Department of Homeland Security has flagged thousands of passports, it's part of an ongoing investigation. They released them into the U.S. without anything. There's 28,500 individuals right now that are further being investigated with Middle Eastern names that came through the southern border that are in our country since January 1st. This is according to the DHS memo that went out. Those are the ones they caught. 28,500 individuals. With passports, but their middle name or their names were from Middle Eastern countries. This is a huge problem. This is all coming out amongst midterms right around the corner, literally. Raising concern about our vulnerability of our southern border and security risk and influx of illegal migrants, according CBS, has encountered 343 people whose names appear to be on a national terror watch list. Mexican passports. Canada, Canada has encountered 343 people coming from the United States into Canada with names on the National Terrorist Watch List. Why? Why is Canada finding 343 people leaving the United States that are on our terrorist watch list or the National Terrorist Watch List from Middle Eastern countries? We just let them in? Is that what happened? Investigations need to continue on this because this is a big problem. The nexus to Mexico could cause the public and lawmakers to reflect on how porous the border is and how dangerous, and even more dangerous, it could be. FBI Director, of course, Chris Wary, again, said that the border posed a significant security issue, but yet doesn't represent, and it represents a criminal threat that flows through it, including potential terrorism, but doesn't do anything about it. They're illegally crossing our southern border now. People on the terrorist watch list are illegally crossing our southern border. This Biden administration has gone way too far at this point. It is becoming ridiculous. Watching what's happening out there this is crazy. As Customs and Border Control and Border Protection continue to encounter record numbers of migrants under the Biden administration, on a pace to surpass 2 million migrants actually accounted for. And this is only 10%. They estimate 10% of what actually comes to the border. This is crazy. Christopher Wary needs to step down immediately. If the FBI is not going to hold the laws of our country accountable, he does not need to be there. If he's going to allow the president to do things that are hurting the country, he doesn't need to be there. You know, Biden put all this money into infrastructure, but yet now we have this Jackson water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi, following years of failures to fix the aging system. It's another problem. How many more cities are going to go with tainted water where they have to drink bottled water because the access to safe water is being cut off? We're in the first world country, but we're living in a third world nation. Why? That's a question we should all ask ourselves tonight. Why under this administration alone, has money been diverted more than ever from projects that it was put there for? You find frivolous things. It's just ridiculous. Watching what's happening, of course, the recurring double standard in our country. Lead and E. coli showing up in water around the country. It's just sad. Shows really the sad shape of America and where we're at. We need to stand up and say something or get off the pot now. I mean, literally, when we have 150,000 people lose water overnight, and the state goes under a state of emergency to scramble to distribute bottled water to 150,000 people, in a city where roughly 1 in 4 of those people live in poverty in the first place. It's going to be a long time to restore services to these people, and who knows if it ever will. Look at Flint, still getting bottled water to this day. It's unclear what's going to be done and how many days it could take, according to the governor. But it's unclear because there's no way it's going to take days at this point. The crisis is so bad. Current crisis, of course, began last week when torrential rains caused the Pearl River, which runs through Jackson, to swell and crest around 35 feet, contaminating some of the treatment problems, creating problems with treating water. But this was a problem before the rains even came. There was lead issues and E. coli found in the water beforehand. This isn't a recovery program. This is an ongoing, until we fix it, because we don't want to put the money into it, program. The government wanted to Biden, I'm not going to say the government, Biden wanted to compete with Elon Musk on his internet program to make it cost effective for Americans to have internet in the middle of the rural areas, where Elon Musk was already solving that problem. So, of course, most of this build America's infrastructure better is going to internet, not water, not power. We see the problems in those grid systems. Our bridges are failing. What's next? Biden needs to be out of office. And we see Republicans getting ready for impeachment. I mean, Republicans are going to be pushing out Biden. And Biden, of course, is saying semi-fascist is what he's calling us. But he needs to be impeached. You can't ban assault weapons. You can't ban any weapons from United States citizens. And that's the way I personally feel. The First Amendment says the right to bear arms, to protect against tyranny from your country. For our militias, gives you a right to be able to fight your own government if it need be. It doesn't say you can only own this, this, and that. It doesn't say you can only own a weapon to hunt or get game. No. It says the First Amendment says what it says because they knew what they just did, what England had to do to fight to get their freedom. They wanted every American to be able to fight and stand for themselves, for their rights. Corruption is way too much out there. And this is just what's happening here. Of course, Russia and China and a lot of Asian countries are Soviet Union countries are starting their war games tomorrow. Over 600 ships involved and going to be right around Taiwan. That's really fun. At the same time, Russia today halts all natural gas going to Europe. I don't know if you guys know that. All natural gas got cut off to Europe today from Russia, causing an extreme problem already from a problem we had a little bit in the first place. All natural gas is now cut off in Europe, and that's going to cause more problems. It's the main artery for the natural gas in Europe, and maintenance. I don't even know what to do. It's an economic war on the continent. It's going to be a very, very cold, dark winter. I mean, by shutting off the natural gas that delivers the majority of French utility, period, including power, gas, lights, everything is produced off of natural gas. I mean, a lot of countries are going to suffer from this. A lot of countries. Sad. And Taiwan, of course, is vowing to counterattack if Chinese forces enter its territory during this war games. I mean, this is becoming a bigger problem. Nancy Pelosi went over there, whispered in Taiwan's ears, and now they want to counterattack Chinese forces if they enter their water space or territorial waters. They're not an independent country. Nuclear power plant, the risk of melting down, natural gas cut off. Yeah, Putin's not even hurting. Russia is richer than ever right now. That's another thing. This false narrative saying Russia's hurting. Russia's not hurting. Russia is literally richer than ever right now. There's no blockage of goods getting imported to Russia because China can give them anything they want. Russia produces plenty of food for their own citizens plus the world. But wait, they're not selling that right now. They're just holding on to it all. Saying chip technologies won't be able to get to Russia is just another mainstream media lie. As we see Russia's ratcheting up more components, and China is changing over massive amounts of normal production lines into wartime production lines. You can't say they're getting ready for nothing. It's happening. Millions more getting locked down in China, of course, because of COVID. China knows how to control their people. Hard to say. Yep. It's just sad watching what's happening as our great country, or once great country, is slowly deteriorating. Like I said, the only good news today that I found that's really good out there is production of hydrogen gas just got a huge jump. So we can hope soon that'll be a massive production. And we can actually go towards a greener future. But we can't go green at the expense of this country. We can't do anything else at the expense of this country because it is getting so bad every time we turn around. Now that it was Trump's vaccine, now they're admitting there's problems with Trump's vaccine. I got to make sure I say Trump's, otherwise I get in trouble for that. They're admitting problems with the vaccine. Increased death rates. The Trump vaccine. Got to keep saying that word. If you don't use the Trump name in front of it, then you get in trouble. So this is sad. Blaming the vaccine problems on Trump because he expedited the vaccine, even though he might not have pushed it. He might not have been the one forcing people to take it. They're blaming that on him now again. Of course, we're expecting, which is crazy, tropical developments. Oh. You get tropical weather hit here. I mean, take out any of our refineries, forget it with gas. Just one thing after another here. It's another day and good old US of A. Good days are gone, and days we have here, we got to stand for. Hopefully, wish for the best. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. I'm going to sign off. A lot of stuff coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be covering Biden's, of course, speech because he's prepared a speech about how America, of course, rights are being taken apart and freedoms are being attacked. But Biden's the one doing attacking, so I wonder how that's going to go. So we'll be covering that live and, of course, talking about it afterwards. So see you guys tomorrow night. God bless you all. God bless America. Good night.